This is just a short disclaimer really, to say that UFC 143 predictions video will be as usual, but following that, as many of you know, I'm about to move house and will be offline for some time. So the UFC on Fuel video, UFC 144 video and the FX2 video at the start of March will all be quick picks, which will be a different style than you're used to. They also, particularly UFC on Fuel, may end up being uploaded late. I'm just sorry about that. That will depend on when I can get internet connection again. The predictions in brief videos are stopping for February entirely, and so are the recap videos, including the recap video for Fox 2 at the end of January. So those will be, I shall decide on what I'm going to do in that regard when I have finished the moving process and March has begun. Right, time for my UFC 143 predictions. There is a great many things wrong with this card. The first is there are several quite extreme squash matches. I never really approve of squash matches. I think they're a bit mean. The other thing is that this card is full of fighters who A, don't deserve to be on a numbered event, and B, don't really deserve to be in the institution at all. Not if the UFC is prepared to cut people like Junior Asankeo or Danny Downs, to then keep people like Matt Brown, for example, or Alex Caceres is it's not very professional, certainly. So I'm going to do the main event, then start at the bottom and work my way up. The main event is Nick Diaz versus Carlos Condit. The thing about this match is that it's for the title whilst George St. Pierre is off sick, so to speak. I think people want Nick Diaz to win because they want to see him fight GSP, but I do think that Carlos Condit probably will win this one. He's got 13 wins and 13 wins both for submission and TKO, whereas Nick Diaz, he's good at TKO, but his submissions fall a little less on the stockpile there. The thing about this fight that might change that is that Nick Diaz has actually fought 3 times last year, and Carlos Condit only fought once. The UFC are not using the fighters like they should at the moment. I'm going to go for Carlos Condit. I shall go for TKO in the... Let's go for 4th there. Right, continuing then with Rafael Natal and Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper is a debutee, and there's quite a few debutees on this card. He's got a perfect record of 11 and a background in judo, but statistically speaking he wins usually by TKO. Rafael Natal has a record of 13 and 3, wins usually by submission, but his record not brilliant. Win, loss, draw, win. I think Rafael Natal will probably win this one, but I might go for decision. Dan Stittergen is fighting Stephen Thompson. Both of these, again, debutees. 7 and 1 for Dan, a perfect 5 for Stephen. Having said that, Dan is on a 3-fight win streak. think this is going to be a submission match more than anything, and I favour Dan. I think I shall go for a choke submission in the second there. Matt Brown is fighting Chris Cope. Now Matt Brown has a record of 12 and 11, and his record is win, loss, 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 win, loss. Loses wherever there's a submission in sight. The UFC are not stupid. I think they want him still in the organisation because they've given him to Chris Cope, who usually wins by decision, loses by TKO, and probably doesn't have a submission in sight. Record of 5 and 2. He's also coming off a loss to Shay Mills. I still don't think this is going to be a clear victory for Matt Brown. I might go for him here. I might say decision, but well, yeah. Alex Caceres, 6 and 4, win, loss, loss, win, is fighting Edwin Figueroa, 8 and 1. Alex will probably try the submission match here, whereas I think Edwin is going to want it on their feet. I'm favouring Edwin here, and I think I might go for TKO in the third. Matt Riddle is fighting Henry Martinez. Matt Riddle is coming off 2 losses in a row. Again, why he is in the institution, I don't know, because all he can do is win and lose by decision. I mean, the amount of finishes are in his record are very, very slim, and his record's only 5 and 3. Henry Martinez, 8 and 1, loves submission, and he's never been finished so far. He has a 4-fight win streak, and although he's a debutee, he is from the Jacksons camp. So I'm going to go for him. I'm hoping for a choke submission in the first, and maybe a get out of UFC free card for Matt Riddle there. Dustin Poirier is fighting Max Holloway. Max Holloway seems to go by the nickname Little Evil. Now I could be wrong, but being a great Jens Pulver fan, I had thought that he was the only person at least entitled to use that. Max Holloway has a perfect record of 4, and almost everything on that record revolves around decisions. Dustin Poirier, this is a squash match, who is on a 4-fight win streak, has a record of 11 and 1. So I think he will probably win this one. I shall go for TKO in the first there. There we are. Ed Herman and Clifford Starks. Clifford Starks, perfect record of 8, but he's fighting Ed Herman with a record of 19 and 8, with 12 submission victories alone, also on a 2-fight win streak. I think he shall probably win. I'll go for a bar submission in the first there. And Renan Barreo is fighting Scott Jorgensen. This is probably going to be fight of the night, this one. Scott Jorgensen, 13 and 4. Although he usually wins or loses by decision, he is a big star who has come up from WEC. He's sort of multicoloured. There's something mottled with his skin. I don't know what it is, but there we are. Renan Barreo, 27 and 1. 13 submission victories to his name there. So there's no guarantee here that Scott Jorgensen will win. I think he probably will, but I might go for a split decision there. And then moving on up, Josh Koscheck is fighting Mike Pierce. The thing about Mike Pierce is he does very well unless he's fighting a calibre like Josh Koscheck, for example, or John Fitch, or the other guy that I met, Johnny Hendricks. So I don't think he'll win this one. I shall go for Josh Koscheck. Might go for decision. Don't know. And Roy Nelson is fighting Fabricio Verdum, who usually does quite well. If you can avoid the stand-up of Roy Nelson and tire him out, then he should be able to get a submission later on, I reckon. So I shall go for a bar submission in the second there. And those are my predictions for UFC 143.